come to do some yoga. That's awesome. Yoga is such a great way to align your body and your mind, help you feel settled and centered. And that's what today's yoga sequence is all about. It's about kind of feeling centered and balanced and a little bit happier amidst different things that may be going on. So as we go through, I want you to just think of using your breath and your body movement as we go through to reignite your inner happy, to feel a little more grounded in yourself. If you're new to yoga and you feel like your mind wanders or anything like that, it's okay and it's completely normal, especially when we get into Shavasana at the end, especially when we're in the middle of uncertain times. Your mind will wander, and you know what, that is totally okay. Recognize that it's wandering, thank it for going wherever it went, and then refocus yourself, okay? It's a learned skill. And the more you practice yoga, the more that skill comes, to be able to just recenter and refocus yourself, find that flame from inside out, and that's what we're gonna do today. So we're going to start, if you have your yoga mat out, use your mat, and if not, just use whatever space you have. So we're gonna start in a nice, easy, seated position. If you do any intention setting, just soften your eyes right now. Deep breaths in and out. From your easy position, opening the eyes back to the room, bringing your hands to prayer at your heart center. From the prayer position, we're going to bring the arms all the way up and around like you're swimming through the air, and back to prayer. Bring it up and back to prayer. Up, back to prayer. One more time. Up. Holding it in prayer for a couple breaths, and then we're going to reverse the arm circles. So just a couple breaths here, and we're going to reverse them. So now the arms go down, up, back to prayer. Down, up, back to prayer. 2 more times. Following your breath pattern, making sure you're breathing nice and gently. Good. Bringing your hands just down to your knees. A couple neck rolls side to side. Good. Just seated, some nice shoulder rolls. Loosening the body up. We're going to head into a reversed prayer. So we had prayer at our heart center. We're going to bring our arms behind us, reaching for those palms and trying to bring them together at your back. Okay? Squeezing your shoulder blades together. Depending on our shoulder flexibility, if we can only clasp the hands, bring them part way. Trust your body, okay? Don't push it so far that it hurts, right? Nothing in yoga should be painful, all right? So you always want to realign. Just stay within what your body is able to do today, okay? A few deep breaths in reverse prayer. Sitting nice and tall and releasing the arms. Good. So bringing yourself up to standing and picking whichever side of the mat. You might want to face the same way as me. It's totally up to you. We're going to start. I'm going to talk you through it, so make sure you follow what my body is doing and my words, okay? And if you're ever unsure, just press pause. So, rooting the feet into the ground, mountain position. Standing nice and tall, solid on your feet. Few deep breaths in mountain. You're going to fan your arms all the way up, meet them overhead, and bring them down to prayer at your heart center. From your prayer, bringing the arms again, mountain, stopping with the arms all the way up. And you're going to bend your body over to the right. down through prayer. And then bringing those hands to your lower back, supporting your low back, opening up through your chest, adding a bit of a back bend, looking up to the ceiling. And releasing your back bend back into mountain. Fanning the arms all the way up and folding forward down to your toes. From your forward fold, you're going to step your right foot backwards. Right foot comes backwards and we're into a lunge. Now, if you're not feeling sturdy with your back leg up and extended, you can drop the knee down for a nice low lunge, okay? It's totally up to you. I'm going to stay up, but you can drop the knee down if you want to. From your low lunge, planting your right hand on the ground, you're going to lift the left hand up for a twisted lunge, okay? Bringing it back down to a lunge, dropping the knee if it wasn't already. You're going to scoot that front leg back to meet the back leg into tabletop position. Taking a few deep breaths in your rooted tabletop position before sinking back. We're going to sink the hips back into child's pose. And coming forward out of your child's pose through tabletop, and then bringing yourself all the way up to standing. We're going to repeat the exact same sequence, but this time we're going to do things going to the left. So starting in a nice, strong mountain position. Deep breaths through mountain. Taking those arms, fanning them up over your head, meeting them together, and bringing them down to prayer at your heart center. Deep breaths in and out. Again, fanning the arms down all the way up, stopping at the top, and bending yourself this time over to the left. Side bend to the left. Bringing it up, bringing those hands back to prayer. Deep breath in and out. And then bringing the hands down to support your lower back. Bringing that back bend, so pushing those hips forward, squeezing your glutes as you do it, squeezing your shoulder blades. Gentle back bend. And releasing that back bend, standing up nice and tall, taking the hands, fanning them all the way up. And then forward fold down to your toes. From your forward fold this time, you're going to step your left foot back into a lunge. And again, it can be full leg extended, or you can drop your knee down wherever you're feeling it today, right? Slightly more gentle of a stretch, slightly more intense when you pick that knee up, okay? So it's totally up to you, wherever it feels good in your body, okay? And know that if you do this tomorrow, it may be completely different. That's the magic of the human body, right? Especially through yoga. From that lunge, you're going to plant your left hand on the ground this time. Bring the right arm up to the ceiling for twisted lunge. Bringing it down. If your knee is up, dropping the knee down to the ground and then bringing that right leg, your front leg, back to meet your left leg. Taking a second to check in tabletop and reaching those hips right back into child's pose. Coming out of your child's pose, right back up into tabletop. If you want to take a second to kneel, if you need to catch your breath or give your shoulders a little wiggle, check in. How's your head feeling? You feeling a little more uplifted? As you breathe through this exercise, some may seem challenging, right? There may be some you've never done. If you're going through it, breathe in the happy, right? In theory, breathe in all the happiness around you. Exhale the stuff that's not important, right? Center yourself with those deep breaths. Feel the oxygen come in. Let it all go as you exhale, okay? Let all the things that are ailing you today just go out, right? No need to hold them in. We can let them out in yoga class. So, coming back to that tabletop position, we're going to do a modified side plank, okay? So you're going to keep your right knee and your right hand on the ground and turn your body sideways, extending the left leg and the left arm up. Now, if you want more of a challenge in your side plank, you can do a full side plank, okay? So either keeping the leg bent and extending the arm, or extending the foot to meet the other foot, okay? Holding it there for just a few more deep breaths. Side planks, so great. Coming out of your side plank, we're going to go into wild things. So I want you to just have a seat. We're going to plant the foot. In wild thing, you're stretching yourself up, okay? So I want you to bend one leg, point the other, and reach that one hand behind you. Now, if you've never done wild thing before, please don't try to torture yourself, okay? Gently lifting the hips, okay? We're looking at different progressions to get to the full pose. Yoga is cool. It's about the journey. It's not about the pose, right? It's about how we get there, right? The pathways we take to get there. So, modifications, just practicing lifting. Maybe the arm is still a little weak or we're feeling tired today, working on just lifting the hips with both arms down, okay? Otherwise, if you've done wild thing, let's bring it on up, okay? 1, 2, inhale and up. Holding for a few deep breaths. And bringing it down and back over to tabletop. We're going to go to the other side. So this time I'm going to have my back to the camera, but that's okay. You guys know what you're doing. So we're going to go to the left side on the ground this time. Side plank, either modified side plank on your knee or extending the leg out for side plank, okay? Reaching that arm up to the sky. Deep breaths, breathing in the great, exhaling the blah. No need for it. And bringing yourself out and working your way onto your bum. This time, we've got our left knee bent. So last time we had right, this time left, right leg extended, left hand on the ground, working on getting those hips up for wild thing, and up we go. bringing it back down onto your hands and knees. If your wrists are tired from those, press pause and do a few, I call these rocks, and I call these fishies. Okay, so rocks and fishies, just to loosen the wrists up. We're almost done with all this stuff on the floor, okay? So bringing yourself back in to your tabletop position, you're gonna tuck your toes right under. We're gonna shoot up to downward facing dog. Hips come right up, downward facing dog. Once you're up there, I want you to give your legs a little walk. And then bring the down dog to stillness. Bringing the knees back down into tabletop and sinking yourself back into child's pose. Taking a good rest, a rest in child's pose. Coming out of your child's pose, back into tabletop. This time you can either have the option. We're either going to shoot the hips up into down dog, and you can just stay in down dog, or we're going to do three-legged dog, where one leg comes up into the air, and then we're going to switch it to the other leg. So if you want to do your 2 times of your three-legged dog, you can, or you can just stay in down dog, okay? Ready? Tucking the toes under, shooting those hips right up into your down dog. If you want to do a three-legged dog, let's pick that right leg up, lifting it only as high as you can, right? Maybe it's just learning to kind of lift it off the floor. Maybe it's bringing it all the way up. There's no right or wrong. The only wrong is not doing anything. Switching the legs out. If you're doing three-legged dog, this time lifting the left leg up. Bringing that leg down if you have the legs up, tucking the knees back down into your tabletop position and sinking back into child's pose. Coming out of your child's pose, now you have your choice. You can kneel, or you can sit cross-legged, or you can kneel up. What we're doing is called eagle arms. So it's just the arms. Eagle position is a standing, full eagle is a standing pose with arms and legs. We're just gonna do the arms. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take our right hand up to our nose. We're gonna take our left hand, scoop it under, and we wanna try to wrap them together without breaking the lines of anything, right? We want it all pointing right up to the sky. Okay, breathing into that pose, shooting the energy, positive energy everywhere around us. Good, and unwinding those arms, reaching them open. And we're gonna go into eagle arms with the other arm up. So this time, left arm comes up to the nose, right arm scoops under. And releasing those eagle arms, stretching the arms out. I'm going to turn back sideways again. So we're going to do camel or modified camel and puppy pose. So puppy pose is very, very similar to child's pose. Sorry, very similar to child's pose. But we keep our butt in the air. So we stretch back, but our bum never comes down to meet our ankles. Okay. Camel If you want to do a full camel, you're reaching your hands to your heels. Okay, so that's full camel. Modified is working on that back bend. So similar to how we did standing, supporting your low back into your back bend, okay? So your choice, and take a deep breath, and into our pose. Bringing yourself back up. We're going to put the hands down and stretch ourselves back into puppy. From puppy, bringing yourself right back into tabletop. We're going to do a few cat and cow. So on cow, dropping your belly to the ground. Deep breath in. On cat, rounding your back. Big breath out. Okay? Following your breath. Bringing yourselves right back down to the ground. We're on the home stretch now. So bringing those feet out to the side. We're going to do a few straddle type stretches, a few leg stretches, and then we're going to head into a nice 5-minute Shavasana. Now that some of you may go, what, 5 minutes? I have to lay quiet for 5 minutes. And some of you might be going, 5 minutes, that's it, I would lay longer. Depending on where you sit on that, try the 5 minutes. I know it's sometimes hard to sit in stillness. Lay in stillness, but I encourage you to do it. I'll talk you through the first bit of it, and we'll go from there. So from your straddle position, I want you to just gently reach over to your right side. Bringing it all the way up. You're going to come down through the center. Bringing it all the way back up, heading now over to your left side. Bringing it back up one more time, down to the center. Deep breaths. There's something so refueling about a deep breath. So refuel yourself as we bring this practice of yoga home. It's like gasoline for your vehicle or diesel for your vehicle, depending on what you drive. If you drive an electric vehicle, it's like a plug-in, right? Taking those deep breaths in our body is just like refueling. So as we head this last part of our practice home, deep breaths refueling us. Deep, happy, positive breaths. It's easy to be a downer right now. It's easy to feel down. So let's change that. Let's change that pace. Let's change the pace. Let's make a conscious choice to change that. Even if it's just during today's practice. Conscious choice to change that pace. Positive refueling breaths. Bringing that chest all the way up. We're going to lay down onto our backs, okay? So onto your back. You're going to bring your knees together. This is just a knee hug, okay? And all I want you to do in knee hug is rock side to side, okay? Kind of thinking of massaging that lower back. Just a gentle rock side to side. Then bringing that knee hug to stillness. On an inhale, you're going to take your hands, push your knees away from your body. On your exhale, you're going to pull them tight in. And then you're going to keep following that breath pattern of out and in. Deep breath in when the knees go out. Deep breath out when they come in. Keep following that pattern. Bringing that knee hug just to a gentle knee hug, just tucking it right in. Just give it a hug. This is your self-hug for the day. You should give yourself more than this self-hug. I'd like more self-hugs all the time. Hug yourself, just as a reminder that you're there for you. From your knee hug, I want you to flex your feet back and push them up to the sky. Okay? Imagine you're holding the ceiling in place with the tops or the bottoms of your feet, the soles of your feet are holding the ceiling in place. Couple more breaths there. And then bending those knees and finding the inner soles of your feet. This one's called Happy Baby. And you're just like a baby playing with their feet. Okay, just a little bit of movement, a little bit of play. Have some fun with it. And from Happy Baby, you're just going to bring yourself comfortably down if you're on your mat, or in whatever space you're in, to lay for Shavasana. So as you're settling into your Shavasana, I want you to think of 3 things as you're settling that you have to be grateful for today. Maybe you had a tasty breakfast. Maybe someone said something funny to you. Maybe you just had a good hair day. Whatever it was, I want you to think of a few things that brought you joy. And as you breathe in and out, I want you to just think of those joyful centering things that no matter what's going on in the outside world, you can come back to those things. Blue sky, melting snow, warmer temperatures, a piece of chocolate. All of those things, breathe those in, hold them in, let them refuel you. And as you exhale, all of the other stuff just leaves. sound of the bell tells us it's time to wake our bodies back up. So opening your eyes, wiggling your fingers and toes, bringing your attention back to the room. Then we're going to bring ourselves up to seated position for just one last breathing exercise together. So getting your bearings, bringing yourself back up. It's a breathing exercise. Some of you may have done this with me in the past. We're going to breathe in for a count of 1, out for a count of 1. Then we breathe in for 2, out for 2, up to 3, 4, 5. Okay? So sitting comfortably. You can close your eyes if you want to. We're going to breathe in for 1 and out for 1. In for 1, 2, out for 1, 2. In for 1, 2, 3, out for 1, 2, 3. In for 1, 2, 3, 4, out for 1, 2, 3, 4. In for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Deep breath all the way in. And out big through your mouth. 2 more times. Big in. And out from your mouth. Last time in. And out from your mouth. Bringing your hands together at your heart center. Whatever it was today that made you feel uplifted, made you feel a little more centered. Maybe it was breathing, maybe it was extending your body. Maybe it was just getting moving, maybe it was holding the stretches. Whatever it was, take time to do that every day. That's within our power, right? And those few centering breaths we just did at the end, those are magic. So whenever things start to feel a little uncertain or chaotic, take a minute to breathe, all right? Thank you so much for practicing. Come back again soon. Namaste.